I don't wanna ruin this one. This type of love don't always come and go.
Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to episode 6 of I Don't Know Vlogs. I'm Ty.
I'm Rayhan. And I'm Azam. And today we have Duke Ihenacho on with us. He is the founder of Alpha Burn, Law 17, and he's just a human being in general. He's done so much for us, and we appreciate you having on with us.
Nah, much love, man. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
No, of course. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. This is another day in the summer during quarantine part 2. But I'm doing good. I'm coping. I'm making, plays and making things happen for myself. And I can't complain right now.
Awesome.
How you guys doing?
Not too
bad.
awesome.
Yeah,
just
we're
trying
doing
to
pretty
quarantine, trying to stay safe.
Yeah.
But we're just trying to have fun too.
Yeah. Nice. Nah, it's good to see y'all again, man, for real.
I know.
Sure.
I mean, like, it's funny because the way that we met is really unorthodox. We
Right.
met saw chicken.
Right. Right, man. It's crazy how the world works, man. You never know what kind of relationships happen when you just extend yourself,
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So I kind of want to start off with just what foundation built you into what you have accomplished today, and how that's played such a major role in what you're striving to attain for your future.
As far as you said, what foundation did what for me?
What foundation have you built for yourself, just like from an early age on to where you're at today? And
Yeah,
that has like become like almost like a catalyst for the different innovations and different projects that you're working on right now.
yeah. I think that through my childhood and into adolescence and into early adulthood, one thing that I've always had was just belief in myself. Belief in myself and belief that things will work out. I've always been optimistic, and I think my optimism is one thing that has gotten me to this point. Even when other people will look at my situation and look at it as unfavorable, and look at it, well, the odds are against me. I've always felt like it's just been a feeling thing. I've always just had this feeling of optimism. It's like, it's gonna work out for me. I trust myself. I trust my decision making. I trust myself to put me in the right positions and be around the right people. And I use a crazy amount of discernment to figure out who I should trust and who I should not trust. And so one thing that I've always been is optimistic, and I think that has gotten me to this place today. I mean, there's so many other things, right? Hard work, discipline are the easy ones, but a lot of that comes from just being optimistic and just understanding and believing in yourself.
So did you always know what you wanted out of life then? Like you always had a plan for yourself, or did everything happen as a whim?
Nah, I would be lying if I said I've always had a plan with life. I would be lying. I think that early on when I was a kid and I was living under my parents' roof, it was, I mean, you guys have parents that learn from you, right?
Yeah.
Right. I did. So like, I'm assuming, right? So you guys understand like there's like a different kind of strictness,
Exactly, yeah.
Our parents our parents are more strict. Our parents are a little more, there's discipline and expect more out of us as far as schooling, you know what I mean? And a little more traditional doctor, lawyer, engineer type deal. So growing up, that was kind of just the game plan, right? I was just kind of following whatever my parents wanted me to do. But then I got to high school and, I started playing football and, I was really good at it, right? I may not have had a plan, but I always was focused on being good at whatever I did. I always took super pride in whatever I was offering, and whatever people saw of me, it was something to like a value, So I think that just carried me on to the next stage and the next stage. So when I played ball in high school, it's like, yo, let me be good at high school, right? I'm going to play ball in high school, and then I get to college, right? So it's the same thing. Then I get to college. Yo, I just want to be good. I don't even care about the NFL. I'm not. This is not my goal. It's not my dream. I just want to be good at whatever I'm doing. I want to be good at, and I think that's always taking me to the next level. Because wanting to be good at something, I'll put the time in and put the effort in. And if you just focus on being good, people are going to notice. And I think that's carried me when I was in the NFL. And then when I decided I want to do fashion, it just kind of everything was just on to the next.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought up also with regards to your fashion, because of Lost 17,
Yeah.
I can see based off just that attitude and that mentality that you have of wanting to be the best at it and wanting to persevere towards it, right? And you see that, like, for example, with your face mask. You guys came out with, I think, personally, the first leather-made face mask, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, it was.
Into that.
Yeah.
You said what?
The amount of craftsmanship and like the quality of that, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was. At first, as you get into this business and you want to, produce apparel and accessories, man, you're just trying to you can go about it two ways. You can go about it with kind of a middle ground. I'm just going to produce something cheap, make it cheap, try to get it off, right? But I feel like I had too much integrity for that, right? I feel like I got too much integrity, and people that have integrity have a hard time selling something, right, that they don't feel is quality, right? And I always felt like I even if I make it, I never felt comfortable selling you something or offering you something if I wasn't 100% satisfied in the product, right, or the service. So I always told myself, yo, okay, we're gonna do mask, right? It's all about pivoting and all about there's a demand for masks, there's a need for masks, so let's get into it. Let's not overthink it. Let's just get into it, because that's something that we do, right? We do clothes, we do accessories, so let's get into it. So then I started making masks, and it was just more. I made the first mask was like the camel cotton mask, which did well. But I really wanted to do something more luxurious, and I wanted to do something more stylish that people could actually want to wear, and not just want to take off. Or I wanted to create something that people will wear even if they didn't have to, and that's how I got the leather mask. So that was crazy about just the craftsmanship that went into that, the design, the aesthetic, the sophistication that went into that. That was amazing.
So going back to your parents, you were talking about your parents. And growing up, your mother didn't actually let you play Pop Warner football. So how did you end up convincing her to let you play?
You know what? I was a basketball player growing up.
Oh, really?
Before I started playing football, right? I started playing football too, but I was playing basketball first. So I wanted to play Pop Warner, but she didn't let me play Pop Warner football, but I was in the basketball. So it was just kind of a substitute. Okay, at least I could play this, right? I was a big fan of Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, so it kind of just worked out, And she never let me play Pop Warner, but when I got to high school, when you get to high school, your parents kind of, the leash they have on you kind of just lessens, because now you got high school friends. Now you're staying at school a little longer, going to school a little earlier, going to parties. So, they can't just monitor you 24/7. So some of my friends were football players in high school, and I started getting tight with them, and I think one of them used to ask me, yo, why don't you play football? And I used to say, yo, I'll play basketball. But then, guys will be guys. And he was like, okay, you're too soft to play football, So he told me I was too soft to play football. And I think that right there is ultimately what made me go out and say, I'm going to prove to him I'm not soft, And from there, I hated it. The first day of practice, I hated it, man. But I just stuck with it. Like I told you earlier, man, I care about being good, right? And I care about whoever's watching me. I want them to say I'm good at it. I don't ever want somebody to look at me and watch me or see me do something, and then say he's bad at that, right? That's my biggest fear. I never want to be bad at anything. So that's what made me keep going.
So what was that journey from going from from junior year to NFL? That's such a short time. That's maybe 4 or 5 years. How do you go from there to there? That's 0 to 60 real fast.
Yeah, you know what? That's funny that you say that, because I thought about that the other day. how small that time frame is actually, because you get guys that are playing football, 6, 7, 8 years old, right? And that's like a 15-year, process, a 15-year journey. But for me, it was just, super consolidated. And, I guess it just happened. It just happened. I didn't think about it. And it happened so fast because I didn't think about it too much. I didn't think about going to the NFL when I started playing football. I didn't think about going to the NFL when I first got to college, right? It wasn't until my second year in college that I started actually thinking, oh, wow, like I got a shot, And then second year, third year, fourth year of college, it was like, oh, this is my goal. This is what I'm doing this for, right? It became like just a laser focus on getting to the NFL. But the process was crazy, man. The process was crazy. And I think a lot of people were surprised because I didn't play football growing up, But, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like that. I think if you're good enough and you stay out of trouble and all you care about is getting better, then it works.
Absolutely. So with your time being in football as well, how did that influence the new program that you're creating right now, AlphaBurn, and the workouts, the plans that you have in that right now?
Yeah, so because I've been an athlete all my life, I've been exposed to so many different workouts, right? So many different training regimens. So I'm very familiar with what works, right? Whether I need to gain weight, lose weight, whether I need to be explosive, right? So the thing about playing sports, football, and my time in the NFL, it's all training for performance. You understand what I'm saying? So training for performance, working out for performance is a whole different beast than working out for aesthetic and appearance and even just health, right? It's different element because it's more just explosive, more just, urgency, right? But with training for health and aesthetic, it's more you can focus on, a body part. Okay, let's burn this fat. Like you weren't really focused on burning fat when you was in the NFL. You was like, yo, this is who you are. This is your frame. Let's optimize this. You know what I'm saying? And I think that my time in the NFL has allowed me to just experience all types of, workouts, right? So it's made me very comfortable learning new workouts. It's made me very comfortable finishing workouts when I want to quit, So like it's programmed in me now, so I can teach that to other people, So my new program has, to begin with, we're just going to start with the very basic stuff, right? We're going to make everybody follow a basic regimen just to get acclimated to the program, acclimated to the infrastructure, the layout, how to navigate the site, acclimated to how many times you're going to work out, how many meals you're going to eat, what you're going to eat, right? Everything is just at the very beta stage right now of the program. But yeah, man, it's great because I've taken everything I know and just applied it to the program.
Oh, that's awesome. And with your different programs, like with AlphaBurn and then with Law 17, you have created, from what I've seen, just a social media empire with the amount of followers that you've amassed from it. And I want you to kind of get an idea of how important social media is for brand building, how it is for networking.
Well, I think that social media is super important nowadays for brand building because that's the first place everyone goes to check your credibility. I think obviously the talent doesn't, the numbers don't really speak about your skill. The numbers don't really speak about your talent or your work ethic or who the best is, but the numbers are social validation. The numbers say people are interested in what you have to offer, right? So that's important data for a lot of people, right? And that's just the time we live in. So social media is super important if you want to grow, if you want to scale, if you want to get your business out there as fast as possible. Now, the numbers also don't have to be super large to be super effective. You know what I mean? I think that if you have a niche and you get, let's say, 10,000 followers, because 10,000 followers may not seem like a lot to certain people, but 10,000 followers may seem like a lot to other people, right? But if you get $10,000, it's probably $1 million companies that that are like that. You can look at their Instagram page, it's like 10,000 followers, right? It's because everyone that's there is for there for a reason, you know. So like sometimes the numbers don't tell the whole story, but I do think it's important to have a presence on social media just because you want that. People are naturally, we're just lazier now, right? So we just want to click and see before we even like click and research. You get what I'm saying? So before we go to a website, we're gonna go to an Instagram page. We want to see how it feels, see how it looks, see what it's about, right? If you're a trainer and you say, "Yo, I train people," okay, well, we're gonna go to your page and see who you train. Let me see the results, right? How are you representing yourself? You know, if you are a chef and you claim you're a chef, but you don't have any meals on your page, you know, you probably don't get booked a lot, or you probably don't get a lot because that's what people are coming to you for, right? So social media is super important for it.
No, absolutely. So going back to the NFL, you got to start in the Super Bowl, right? What was that?
Yeah.
What was that like? The start there.
Yeah, it was wild, man. It was wild. It was like that. I never really dreamed about that, but I can say that was probably like the craziest, most fun. Even though we lost, it was just the experience was just out of this world, you know, because like it's the biggest stage in sports, right? Besides the World Cup, it's the biggest stage in sports. It's like not the NBA Finals, it's the biggest stage in sports, right? Everybody's watching you. The whole world is watching this one game. You know, it's the biggest light. It's the brightest lights I've ever seen. You know, like it was crazy. My adrenaline was out the roof. And you know, I was just glad I got to start in that game because the previous year I was on practice squad, so I didn't even play a lot. And then I earned a starting job that year, right? But then, you know, somewhere through the year, I went through like an up and down, you know, couple of weeks, injuries. I wasn't playing that well, right? So I kind of got benched, and then, you know, I came back into it and then started playing again. I started playing well, and I worked my way back into the starting lineup, and I got to start in the Super Bowl. So once I got to start in the Super Bowl, man, it was like, wow.
You said you were benched and then you worked your way up to a starting position. Can you talk about like
Yeah.
to getting there and like what challenges you had to overcome to get to your starting position?
I think for me, my initial challenge was, you know, the fact that I was coming from a small school, right? I went to San Jose State, and it's a small school as far as football goes. So you can be a good player coming from San Jose State and not really get opportunity to shine, you know, and you could be a good player coming from San Jose State and, you know, they're going to value other players just off the strength that your school is not as good as their school, right? Which is understandable. So I knew that there was an opportunity that I wouldn't get drafted, and it did happen that I didn't get drafted. So I went into the NFL as an undrafted free agent, and I had to earn a roster spot, which is really unlikely, you know, because most most players that sign to teams as undrafted free agents don't make the team, right? That's like the closest they get to NFL's, you know, that. And coming from a small school, so they signed me to practice squad. But I always felt, right, like I always threatened myself again, right? So I went to Denver, and, you know, I didn't make the team, but they signed me to practice squad. All right, so when they signed me to practice squad, you're on the team, but you just don't play, right? So and then your salary is way smaller than everyone else's salary. But I think that was like the toughest, like, hill to climb because, you know, if you don't make it, then it's over. But after they put me in the practice squad, I'm like, okay, cool. Well, at least I'm here, you know, and I figure everything gets out. And then my second year comes and I play and then I get hurt and, you know, I fight through injuries, but I ended up making it back to the starting lineup. But I think that initial, just that undrafted free agent and not getting drafted, that was kind of the hardest part.
How did you stay motivated through all these ups and downs from getting undrafted to getting injured and all? How do you stay motivated?
I just wanted to be good, you know? I always want to be good. That really is motivating enough for me. I mean, there's so many things that motivate me now, but I think early on, it was just like, I take a lot of pride in people watching me and saying, okay, he's good. Doesn't matter what I do, you know? If it's sketching, you know, if it's, I'm not a rapper, but if we freestyling, I want people to say, okay, well, he kind of freestyle, you know, or, if we're in a weight room and it's like, yo, he's athletic, or he can jump, or he's smart, or he's intelligent. I always want people to have good things to say about. Like, I'm not saying like I care about people's opinions, but I'm so like, that's the competitiveness in me, right? Where I want to be the guy that's good, and I think that was enough motivation to just keep me through. And also, I didn't want to fail. I remember when a guy said to me one time when I was leaving college, he said, Duke, good luck, don't come back, And he says, don't come back, because a lot of guys go and then come right back to college. He says, don't come back. And I was like, damn, that's crazy, because I always thought about that when he told me that.
So we see everything that you've accomplished up to today. And I kind of want to give the viewers an idea of what you see for the future. What do you see like in the next 5-10 years? What is your ultimate vision as of right now?
Yeah, man, I'm ultimate vision, man. I have an empire, man. Me and my girl have an empire. We'll both be having fitness companies. Our fitness companies be out the roof. Law 17 be out the roof. I'm starting an activewear brand. I know that's probably going to be like the biggest draw. I think that I'm starting an activewear brand this year. So in the next 5 years, it's probably going to be, one of the most recognizable active brands in the world. In the world. But yeah, man, I'm excited for that. My whole thing that is just growth and scaling, and I want to travel, and I'm gonna write a book. I'm going to travel and hold workout classes and workout retreats, and so many things going on, and so much. It's like so much opportunity in the world that I'm gonna take advantage of.
Oh, absolutely. And you and Chanel, you guys both have a YouTube channel, correct?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that too. I forgot about that, right? So like, damn, that right there is going to be super huge for us. We just got to find a consistent editor, and it's off the races.
So for your apparel brand, Law 17, how did you come up with the name for that?
Yeah, it was such a weird process for me. I was looking for names, and I was just kind of brainstorming, and I didn't have a name. So when I first started, I didn't have a name, but I just needed the placeholder. Okay, and I knew that I wanted to have it in LA, right? So when I would just have like reference it, I would just like make an acronym, right? And I called it LAW, right, for like LA wardrobe or LA wear, right? And I had no intention on using it for anything. It was just like a placeholder so I could reference it, right? So when people ask me, yo, what's the name called? I'll just say like Law, right? But then like I started looking at the name, and I was like, this reminds me of something, right? And I started doing my research, and I started looking up books, and it reminded me of The Art of War, right? And The Art of War is a book by Sun Tzu, and it's about warfare strategies that's really applicable to different components of today: business, sports, politics, everyday life. And he talks about a lot of things that really resonated with me, patience, and how to win in war, how to be strategic, and things like that. So I took that, The Art of War, right, the AW, and I created a name, Lost the Art of War, right, because the art of war is essentially a guideline of how to be successful that we as a society have gotten away from, and I thought that was important. I thought that was important to drive home that message, so like Lost Art of War is the acronym for Law 17, and 17 is really a spiritual number, right, that means love for all humanity, right, discipline, things like that. And those are some things that some of my strongest characteristics.
Did you still use strategies from Art of War in your daily life to overcome challenges and to become successful overall?
You said what?
You
I'm
still
sorry?
use strategies from the book Art of War in your daily life?
Yeah, it's like it's so innate in me right now that I don't even have to read the Art of War to reflect and to resonate. I think my personality is the Art of War. It's winning without fighting. Winning the war with your mind. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, understanding the terrain, understanding who you're fighting against, understand, your business, understanding who your opponents are, understanding your own skills, right? It's a lot of things. So that's just how I am on a daily basis.
So we know you as Duke from Law 17 NFL. We want to know what else you like, what music you like, what else you like watching, stuff like that too.
Man, I am. So I've been watching. Man, it's crazy. I'm such a like enigma because I like everything, man. I love literally everything, man. I could watch any type of movie, especially just being my girl, man. It's like she teaches me some things and she puts me on some things. I'm like, oh, I love this. I didn't even know I was gonna like this. But my favorite artist is Drake, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big Drake fan. Big Drake fan because just his music is just so relatable. Right. And I can actually listen and hear everything he's saying, right? It's not mumble rap. Right. All he does is make hits. You know what I mean? So like I guess it's just his delivery is done. I'm a big Drake fan. I like his story. So I like him. I like Big Sean a lot. I like Big Sean. He's just interesting. Like I just like his delivery. I like Tiana Taylor a lot. I like Justin Bieber. You know what I mean? So it's like it's just all different, man. What I've been watching on Netflix lately, now I don't really have too much time to watch TV, but whatever, I just need to unwind and start working. I've been watching so my favorite, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. I don't know who's a Game of Thrones fan. Y'all like Game of Thrones? So I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. I'm a big power guy, watching Snowfall. But lately I've caught what I've been watching lately is this show on Netflix. It's a Spanish series, right? I read the subtitles and it's called Dark Desires. And it's dope, man. It's like a 18 episode pilot season right now, but it's dope. Yeah, I see it.
What are your thoughts on Drake's new songs that he just dropped in the past couple weeks?
Was it with Khaled?
Yeah, he did
He got Khaled.
And right now with Heady One, Only You freestyle.
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't really like dissected it like that, but when it comes on, I'm like bobbing my head. I haven't really dissected like the lyrics from front to back, but I just know when it comes on, I'm like, yeah, I can dig this.
So a new football NFL series came on. It's called All American. Have you been able to watch that yet? Or
I started watching it last year briefly, but when I watch these like Netflix series, like I'm always working at the same time, so it's hard to keep up. Right? It's hard because like a lot of these things you need like actually focus on what's going on. So I watched it briefly. It's cool. It's out here. It's supposed to be out here in Crenshaw or out here in LA, but there's a lot of like holes in the story there.
Yeah, wheels and all that stuff.
So during this crazy time, how have you stayed disciplined to work out?
Man, it's at this point I'm kind of just like I'm such in rhythm. It's just like a well-oiled machine, right? I just try to make sure I have a schedule, a routine, to make my life easier. I try to, and it's very easy to like when I'm in the circle, the circle I'm in, everyone around me works out. So it's easy to just be inspired, and not fall off because I don't want to be the guy that's falling off, But at this point, it's just a habit for me. It's like taking a shower, right? If I don't work out one day, I feel it. I know. I can tell you which day I didn't work out. I can tell you how exactly I felt. It's just such a habit. Like I don't have to work out every day, but I want to. And I know how to push myself to work out every day because I feel like, one, I care about my appearance. I care about my grooming. I care about my physique. I care about my appearance and how I'm able to fit in my clothes and how I'm able to feel. I care about my health. I think about my future. I'm sorry, you guys hear that in the background? Sorry about that. My girl's coming. Okay, cool. Yeah, but I think about my future and having kids and being able to be active with them, you know, and I think about being able to get out of bed when I'm 60 years old and walk down the stairs and things like that. So, you know, a lot of those things motivate me a lot.
So I guess as like a final point that we want to bring in was just what type of advice could you give to our viewers just who are going through different walks of life, different paths, and what advice would you give to them as to whatever they're trying
Yeah. As to why what?
as to what they're trying to pursue?
Yeah, I would say, man, just understand that the best things, the most valuable things in life, um, take patience. It's going to take a lot of patience to get. You know, nothing great happens overnight. If you look at all the great monuments and you look at the great cities and all the things of value, it takes time, you know, to foster, man. So you have to really like be diligent with the work, be really precise and not take shortcuts. Because when you take shortcuts, man, you forget steps, right? If you take shortcuts, you leave out steps. And sometimes when you leave out steps, you know, they can seem small, right? But those steps are what's, you know, holding the big thing together, right? So you want to be diligent and complete all the steps and take your time with the process and really focus on, you know, presenting, whether it's a service or a product or whether it's a relationship or, you know, anything, whatever you want it to be, you have to have patience in creating it and have patience when it comes to, you know, what goes into it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining us
thank
today.
you.
We really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Much love, man.
Thank you.
For sure. Thank you for having me, for real, bro.
Episode 6.